think we all know what we want when we go to a spiritual teacher. I've seen an awful lot of spiritual teachers over the years, and some of them provide a few little bits, some provide a few little more bits, and others provide huge claims they could do this, that and the other. But you never see them do it. Now there's two reasons for that. Either they can't, or they only show their little select few, neither of which are a good idea. So much like the teachers I had at school, I looked at the spiritual teachers that I had and thought, well, this is how I'd do it if I was doing it. And when I was at school and left school and came back, I did start teaching the way I wanted others to teach me. So the ultimate purpose of spiritual teaching is to transcend the three dimensions. So what is normally hidden, we can interact with and make the most of, be aware of it and create. So we can do all the things you can do in dreams, wave your hand around like a magic wand and make things appear. Because these are normally hidden, but if they are in infinite realms, then we should be perfectly able to find them one way or another without taking any drugs. I don't think it's limited, because if you open any major power, I think all the others are connected. So for instance, if you can bend metal or have an out-of-body experience or near-death experience, you already experience, you can see. You don't need these eyes and ears and everything else, because you can have your eyes shut and be in a different place and still see. And of course, ultimately, there's one Akashic record or God, and everything is connected, and we pick up all the thoughts and all the ideas. We can communicate with it. So, for example, the Falun Gong teachers say we can do all sorts of levitation, bilocation, apports, bring things in from nowhere. If that's something we can do, then it's not limited to a few specific teachers or students. It's our property. They say, oh, it's dangerous to unleash all that. It's not dangerous, because we're already given plenty of physical things we can do, which are extremely dangerous. And it's up to us, our discretion, whether we use them or not. So by their nature, I think anything supernatural is perfectly safe. And if not, it would come back and stop you doing it again, because you'd realise it would just come back on you. And we've got examples of Jesus, I suppose, as the greatest miracle maker, but then again, Moses did it before, and he was commanded not to by God and got into trouble. But then again, if you're already speaking to God, you will be a master, so you don't really need to worry about being able to do things or not, because if God's telling you what to do, you do as you're told. But otherwise, we are given the freedom, just as we are in three dimensions, to do our own thing. So, if I was a great teacher and had all these powers, I wouldn't either trickle them out or keep them to myself. I would assume I was given this ability for a reason, and I would share it with everyone, because otherwise, why would I have been given that ability, to pretend it didn't exist and just to waste my own time using it for my own benefit? I don't think so. I would show everyone, because I would prove it's possible, and I would wave my hands and do whatever could be done. So you don't do it to be worshipped, to lead people out of the three-dimensional limits, which is the equivalent of hell, because you don't need to die to go to hell. You see little glimpses of it all the time. And I believe that hell is just one of the two frequencies, higher or the lower frequency, that we are exposed to. And the very fact we know it exists is enough. We don't need to experience it more than once. Once we know it's there, say, right, I know that's the opposite. I'd like to avoid it. We'll keep out of it. And this is what this five-dimensional ascension that we're supposed to be heading for is all about. So I don't believe, to sum it all up, that being a teacher, you should limit yourself to just bits and pieces and keeping the best stuff for your favourites, because it's nonsense. You either do it properly or don't do it at all, which I'm not casting aspersions on other teachers, but if you can do it, you don't just say, I can do it, or offer thousands of pounds to do it, or anything else. You just say, look, this is possible, lightning out my hand, there you go, do it yourself. Because as Jesus says, not just I can do it, not just it is possible, but if I can do it, so can you, so can everyone, because we're talking about the infinite dimensions beyond the three dimensions, where 90% or more of reality is unknown by us. And every now and again, we all get a little glimpse of what's out there, just the minor powers, the visions. We can see energy or pick up ideas, pick up thoughts, anything like that. But the big stuff, moving material, swirling things around and generally, disrupting material and matter, just like bending spoons, is limited to the very rare privileged. But I'd just been to a class on bending spoons, and over half the people on it on Zoom did it, because they showed us all these things. Believe me, you can't twist them in those sort of shapes naturally. It's not possible. And over half the people did it in a few minutes. I didn't, but if I did, I would know a lot more than I do now, because I would have seen the major powers in action. So if you're going to be a teacher, do it properly, show people everything, and don't allow them to just see a tiny bit of the picture if you know more than that, because you're actually cheating them. You're doing them a disservice. Show them the whole picture. This is what it is. End of. Just like if all the criminality, corruption, everything else came out in politics, it wouldn't be just one bit, it would be all of it. It's the same with the supernatural. So this is the best way to be a teacher. You're not cheating, because you're given these powers for a very good reason, because you can. Otherwise they wouldn't exist. And if they exist, they are our birthright and our property. Thank you.